This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your support is greatly appreciated.
Good evening. Welcome to the Glazov Gang. Tonight, backed by popular demand, Ingrid Carlqvist, a senior distinguished fellow at the Gatestone Institute. Ingrid, welcome back to the Glazov Gang.
Thank you so much, Jamie.
What an article you recently wrote on Sweden close to collapse at the Gatestone Institute. Let's begin with that. Is Sweden on the brink of collapse, Ingrid?
Yeah, I really think so. You know, for so many years, we are a few people who have seen the signs. We've seen it coming. You know, we know that you cannot keep a welfare state if you have fewer and fewer people working and paying taxes and more people just coming here living from taxes. But now what is new is that we see the politicians for the first time in so many years actually saying things like, this is a big challenge for Sweden. Maybe the money, we don't have enough money, so maybe we will have to, hire the taxes, or we have to go out and lend money from abroad. So we see that the politicians, of course, they still try to say that we will fix it. But, if you read between the lines, you see that they are desperate. And we even had an email that was leaked just a few days ago from inside the finance ministry, saying to all the other ministries, can you please find something to cut down on? And it was not supposed to, reach the public, but it did. So you know that Sweden is on the brink of a collapse.
Ingrid, it's also incredible, the leftist mindset. You talk about it in your article as well, that there continues to be this belief in the Swedish leadership, but also among many Swedes that, that have been infected with this leftist utopian virus, that somehow this money will continue to come from somewhere, that the daddy state will continue to take care of things. I mean, they just live in a fantasy world.
Yeah, they do. But, more and more people, they're out of this fantasy world. I'm working on a new article now. And the theme in that article is that Swedes are now getting prepared for the bad times ahead. There are so many people, now alarming their houses. They're getting weapons. It's not legal. You cannot just go to the store to buy a gun. But if you have a hunting license or if you go into a shooting club, then you will be able to buy a weapon. And that's what I see now is coming. And, even the police, they now tell people know that if they call the police won't come. If they have a burglar in their house or something, the police just won't come. And now the new thing is that the police even tell people who call that we cannot come, but maybe there are some persons in your neighborhood. They're actually telling people to take the law into their own hands.
Wow, hasn't the left built its brave new world? Sweden, what a beautiful country just a generation ago, and now because of this multiculturalist fantasy and leftist fantasy, what you're describing now. Ingrid, in terms of specifics, in terms of numbers, your article, fascinating, by the way. You just do an incredible job, Ingrid. But you write that if the migrants keep coming the way that they're coming, very soon Swedes are going to be a tiny minority in their own country.
Well, that is so crazy, isn't it? And we were so many people that didn't believe it. In the 90s, there were some people saying this, that if immigration keeps going on, the Swedes will be a minority. And no one believed them. We laughed at them. But now, and of course, in that days, we had maybe 20,000 immigrants coming per year. But now, this year, we will have like 250,000 people coming. It is absolutely crazy. And we know now that if it goes on like this, we Swedes will be a minority in 10 or 15 years. And what do you think will happen then? We already see that the politicians, they only care about immigrants. All the new laws, all the money goes to immigrants, and Swedes are supposed to just, work, pay taxes, and shut up.
Ingrid, in your article, you write, it's very important even to bring up these examples that you write about. I mean, what they tell us. You write that in the last 2 weeks, more than 1,000, quote unquote, unaccompanied refugee children have arrived from Germany via ferry. More than half of them have now vanished and are listed as missing. What this is bizarre. What does this mean? And, they're children, they're unaccompanied, what is all this about?
Well, as you know, as we spoke about before, they are not children. I mean, there was a story in one newspaper, the Göteborgs-Posten, big newspaper, and they followed a so-called unaccompanied refugee child. And they had a lot of pictures of him, and he said he was 16. And then there was another side, the so-called alternative media side that, try to write what the mainstream media don't write. And they found out about this guy, and it was so easy to find out that he had been on Facebook searching women for 8 years. So he was 8 years old when he tried starting dating women on Facebook. I mean, the journalist could have done that research himself, but the Swedish journalists, they want everything to be, if you say you're a child, we will treat you like a child. But why are they disappearing? That is a mystery. And it's not just the so-called children that disappeared. I read the other day that we had like 160,000 coming this year, and the police believe that there are 160,000 more who never registered. They're out there in society somewhere. We don't know where. We don't know if they are, ISIS warriors or if they have diseases, or they just, they walk around in society. Nobody knows where they are. There is no rule of law in Sweden anymore. Everything is upside down.
That loving your own country and wanting to protect your own country, maybe even wanting to find out who these quote-unquote children are, trying to figure out who these refugees are, is now bigotry and racism.
Yeah. And that is, let me tell you something. More and more Swedes are now finding out these horrible facts, and they are, of course, reacting to it. So what has happened? Last week, we had this horrible school attack. A white Swedish guy, he went into a school with many Somali children, and he had a sword and a knife, and he killed 2 people. That is absolutely horrible. Of course it's horrible. But the strange thing is that the same thing happened in IKEA 2 months ago, but there it was a black person killing 2 Swedish people just because they were Swedish. Nobody talked about that. The Prime Minister didn't say anything. No one mentioned the word racism. But now when we have this Swedish guy killing 2 foreign people, then it's all over the news. The Prime Minister, he rushed to the school. He said, this is not the Sweden we want. This is horrible. People who come here, they must feel safe. We love you. And of course, I think it's horrible what happened there. But you cannot say that it's racism when a white person kills black, but it's not racism when a black person kills Swedes.
Ingrid, we are out of time. I want to end with this evening. You write how in 2014, the Danish historian and social commentator Lars Hedegaard prophetically remarked in his book, in English, Dangerous Words, that the economic breakdown of a nation always happens quickly and unexpectedly. I was very interested in you stressing this theme that Lars Hedegaard had also stressed, that, some people think, oh, well, this is going to happen and this is going to happen and we have some time. You're saying, no, this could be pop right tomorrow.
I think so too. Remember the Berlin Wall? Nobody knew that it was going, it came down in a few days. When you are observant, you can see the signs for a long time, but most people, they don't do it. So people think that it will take 10 or 20 years until the Swedish welfare state comes crashing down. I don't think so. I think it will happen within a year or something.
Crazy stuff. Ingrid, thank you so much for telling the truth. Thank you for being on the front lines of fighting for Western civilization and for freedom. Ingrid Carlqvist, Senior Distinguished Fellow at the Gatestone Institute. Will we have the honor of seeing you on the Glazov gang soon?
Absolutely. I will come back any day.
Thank you, Ingrid, for everything. And Glazov gang viewers, if you like this show, go to jamieglazov.com and support us. You better be subscribed to our YouTube channel, and you better join us on the next edition of the Glazov gang. Good night.